So there's a lot of people in the audience, the virtual audience, that say, Vernon, I don't have a network. I don't know anybody. What would you say to that? How did you build relationships when you didn't know anybody, when you would go to conferences with no money? Like, well, how did you do it?
I was the "Can I take your photo?" guy, you know?
What does that mean?
So, you get to a conference, you see people, like, they get together and they're like, "I wanna," you kinda see them posing for a photo, like, "Oh, alright, y'all, let's take a photo, da, da, da." So you kinda hear that, and then I would see that struggle as they're like, "Alright, everybody get in," and they're trying to do the selfie thing, and I'll just be like, "Hey, I could take the photo." And that was it. Like, that was, like, the first way I got into, like, just connecting with people because I don't know y'all and I'm scared or I'm nervous. So I would just be the photo taker and ask to take people's photos. I'd make sure the photo looks good before I give it back to them. And then from there, I'd just be like, oh, well, I'm Nemo and you, and oh, I'm Justin, I'm Bob, I'm Amy, I'm Alan, whoever. And so that was really just like the beginning of like how to just network, especially as someone who I'm an ambivert. So I have my very extroverted ways, but I'm also an introvert too. And I get in my mind, I get in my thoughts, I get in my feelings. So kind of had to use that as like a hack a lot when I started the conference game. And then a lot of times the reason why I was probably at the conference is because I volunteered to be at the conference anyways. So my goal was I can't afford conferences. I'm a broke kid in college or broke graduate. I'm just gonna volunteer to be a part of the conferences I want to be a part of. So I would see them online if they would come to Orlando, or if they're in a nearby city. I'd go to the volunteer section, put in my info, and try to become a volunteer and get in the room that way. And I knew that they would give me maybe a seat or a ticket for like a talk or an event or something within the conference, and I'd leverage that too. So very simple, grassrootsy ways to
Right.
get in the room.
Now, there is a story I heard once about you capturing a moment for a speaker and like editing on the spot. Like that got you an opportunity to work with them. Tell that story. What was that?
So in my first kind of go rounds at like really diving into networking, I would always get told, "What, hey, build value for others. How can you build value, etc." So it was around like maybe 2018, before like the captions apps that could like your CapCuts that you can take your video, get the captions uploaded, boom. So I was able to go to a conference in Atlanta. I put the conference hotel on my credit card, and maybe I shouldn't have done that, but that's okay. I just wanted to be in the room. I also didn't want to leave the conference floor. So I wanted to be able to run up to my room and go back and forth. So I brought my actual camera with me to that event. And the cool part, shout out to Drew. This is Build Your Own Brand Conference, BYOB, one of the best conferences I've ever attended still to this date. And at his conference, I saw him. I was like, "Hey, you mind if I take photos, do videos?" He was like, "Yeah, do your thing." So I was like, "All right, great." So I saw a speaker, a really dope lady named Danielle Leslie. I knew of her beforehand when she was speaking. I just made sure that, like, I was snapping photos and stuff like that. But then at the end of the event, I was like, "Hey, could I get like 2, 3 minutes of your time? A lot of people heard you up on that stage, but can you give me like a one takeaway if you missed everything, what you wanted them to get out of it?" She let me record her and she was like, "Okay, cool." And didn't think nothing of it. So I ran upstairs, uploaded all my drives into the actual, into the Mac, edited all the captions, cut everything that I needed to for that scene, and then maybe like 2-ish hours, 3-ish hours, however long it took to just like edit down and make it make sense. Came back down, scoured the floor. I was like, will I run into this lady again? Found her. And I said, "Hey, Miss Danielle." And it was just like, "Here you go." And like I gave her my phone and she was like, "What?" I was like, "Hit play." She hit play and it was her talking, doing her whole thing, captions at the bottom. And it was like, I need you to talk to my assistant. And like that was like how we moved, right? So But it was build value, and I'm at a
Sure.
conference. I got a really high end camera on me. Best way to build value. Now, I will say, disclaimer: I never do things like that if I wouldn't absolutely positively do it for free. So if that's not your jazz, don't follow my methods. But for me, I already thought Danielle Leslie was an amazing influencer, creator, innovator, game changer. And there were a lot of other guys and girls at that conference that I did that for the entire time. But it was a conference of professionals that I admired greatly. I had won free tickets to attend the event, and I never win free tickets to anything I apply for. Everything always seems like a scam whenever I apply, and I never get it. So I applied, I got it. Somebody purchased a ticket for me to head to get to Atlanta because I didn't have that. So I asked my network of friends,
Crowdfunding.
yeah, crowdfunding 101. I asked some homies, give me $5-10. They helped me get to Atlanta. Boom. And then, from there, just went in with my camera, just snapping photos, taking videos the whole weekend.
And that ended up turning into a contract. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Made some rent money to help me get by. But most importantly, it was to also build my portfolio because I was pivoting to graphic design like officially. I had always done it, but
Sure.
now I was like, I'm only going to do graphic design now. I'm not gonna just like kind of do it while I'm doing side things. So I had been freelancing all the time, but I had a full time. So now I was like, all right, it's time to like I ain't playing no more. There's no more like I'm dancing in between things. I'm only going to be a designer, multimedia designer. Like I'm only gonna play in this lane. And so it was like this was the first time where I got to really just be like, this is who I am through and through. I don't care what this gonna cost me, but I need to really just prove to myself that I can do what I said I've always wanted to do or tell others to do, that I can
Yeah.
make sure I do the same thing.
So I'm hearing do it pro bono with the right person. You basically created something on the spot, right? You didn't say, "Oh, I'm gonna go back home and I'm gonna figure this out and then I'm gonna send it in an email and it's gonna get buried."
Yeah.
You actually went back to the conference floor, found her, and blew her mind. I don't think I've ever heard that. So if anybody's listening and you heard that, show some love in the comments. This is game.
Hey,
And we're just getting started. We're just getting warmed up. This is just a warm up. All right.
I appreciate
Um,
you.
Talk to me about the Gary V project. Let's say I want to get in front of somebody like Gary V. He's multimillionaire, built arguably one of the most successful agencies in the world when it comes to serving Fortune 500 clients. How do I get in front of them? You were featured in his book. I want to be featured in his book. How do I do that?
I think timing is the biggest thing that helped me. Um, I had a really good buddy of mine named D'Angelo who told me to go watch Gary Vee's content. This is when he was doing the Ask Gary Vee show. So he said start at episode 1 and climb. So I started just watching through his stuff. It was really great content, very just like nuts and bolts on the ground. Here's how you do it. No fluff, no 5 steps, no 3 steps, no 7 steps thing. It was just like do this now, do this 100 times or do this 12 times or do this once and then change your life. And what happened was I caught an episode where he said, "Hey, if you read my first book, Crush It, I'm writing a new book called Crushing It. If that book, Crush It, had done anything for you," and I had just finished reading that book because of my local library. So before I even tell you about Gary stuff, find your local library if you're up and coming, just getting started. If you're seasoned, there's just a lot of resources in the library, and the library is such an untapped resource for tools, resources, the works. So I read it, saw his video, responded to the video because in the video he said, if you read the book Crush It, send me an email. If I like what you have to say, you'll be one of the 40 something people I put into my new book, Crushing It. So I wrote him an email. I think the email even started off with like, I know I'm going to be one of the 40 plus in your book. Here's why. And it kind of gave him a very nuts and bolts. Like, I read your book, did this, like, got exposure through, own network, Essence, and like all these celebrities. Like, Shonda Rhimes and Ava DuVernay, and like I applied to, giving value and doing things that felt natural to me already, because I already felt like I should be giving more to the world and pouring into others and uplifting people and encouraging people. So that was just the standard anyways. I read his book and it felt like, oh, so I'm not a weirdo for being caring. I'm not a weirdo for uplifting people. I'm not a weirdo for encouraging the masses. And so um sent him the email, and then they just went ghost. I mean, they didn't have to reply back to me. It was, you send in an email and good luck and cross your fingers. But
Did
a
you send
couple,
follow-up emails, like, after that?
I should have. I don't know what I did. Maybe I did, but I don't think I did on this one, but I should have. So, that would be something. If I could do whatever, I would have sent a follow up. But his team reached back out to me and they asked me when can they interview me. They loved my story and they gave me like 3 dates. But one of the dates was June 28th, and I was like, "I'll take that date." And that date is my birthday. And so I was like, it was June 28th. I was actually going to be turning 30. So I was like, this is going to be what solidifies my 30s. Like this moment, this time, this space. And once this happens, like, boy, you better like leap. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, this is the 3-0. You don't get another one. They didn't know it was a birthday date. Um, but I was like, boom, taking it. So, divine is really what that was. So
Yeah. That's, I remember when that dropped. I think I was blown away. I was probably more excited than, you were.
which is
Um,
most times. For those who don't know me, I am very mostly calm about everything, good, bad, ugly, and different. So yeah.
just like the Oprah thing, which you'll have to tell us this story. I said, "Oh, well, Oprah has got your T-shirt. She's been spotted with your brand. What are you gonna do?" And he's just like, "I'm gonna just keep working." That
I
was your
mean,
response.
because the good and bad with like things taking off and things going viral and things whatever, like it can, I would almost tell you to not go viral, because if you go viral and it doesn't meet your expectations, or
Mm,
that thing that you went viral for didn't yield cash or income or success or notoriety, you didn't get called to the J Hud show to walk down the tunnel and do a dance, then it's gonna suck and it's gonna sting like really
sure.
badly. So I would almost tell you, like, forget the virality element, you know, get to the point where, like, I don't know, find everybody's secretaries, find everybody's executive assistants, find like the person they're closest to, like get connected to them, or just do something of some kind of, I don't want to say extreme value, but something something valuable. So for instance, I remember this lady did a podcast about anime and the importance of anime and her passion about anime. And for some reason, Gabrielle Union was looking up online like anime like cosplaying, because either a niece or nephew or somebody wanted to get into it and saw the young lady's video about anime and the importance of it and why black women and all these things in it. And then she ended up having a moment where she got to work with Gabrielle Union. Now, that's like a nuanced situation, but in my mind, I'm like, there are things that you want to get on a show for a popular network, and the anchor's daughter is the top athlete at a particular school and loves J. Cole. Okay, well, like, I don't know, maybe you have J. Cole's first album and, maybe you got it signed. I don't know. You package that up and you send it off to this celeb's crib or network because you wanted to get to their daughter. Okay, well, if they do get it, how dope would it be is like, hey, this is for your daughter, not for you. All right. Cause everybody's getting the celebrity something. But
Right.
who's gonna say, man, like, what if I actually cared about that celebrity's
Kid.
daughter,
Yeah.
nonprofit, initiative, cause, something that just went a little bit more bigger and beyond it. Now, for some, that might be strategy. For me, that's once again, that's just how I move. But it does become strategy because now you can tackle it differently. So, I mean, for me, I mean, getting a feature and a nod from like Oprah, she was with the girls wearing one of my most popular shirts, which is our Black Women in
Black
Hollywood.
girls in Hollywood. Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, that was a great moment, and it did bring in notoriety. It did bring in some really great income. It brought in, um, for me, it gave me confirmation. And that was what was most important for me than the money, notoriety, shout outs. Yeah, sure. Shonda Rhimes shouted me out. Ava DuVernay shouted me out. All these celebrities was hitting me up. That's nice. But, and I wouldn't even say hit me up because that would be like kind of overly bragging. But they were celebrating the moment that I thought was important, just as important too, which was honoring Black women. Um, but what was great was the confirmation that my love, my care for Black women, my love, my care for, helping Black women win and highlighting dope Black women and saluting Black women wasn't off at all. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to put out this shirt honoring Black women and then see it skyrocket, get Essence involved, on Network involved, Oprah involved, different celebrities involved, you all helped me confirm everything that I knew, which was I should be betting on Black women and should be uplifting and pushing and propping up. And how can I help Black women at all costs? Because when I was trying to pivot into design full time, it was a Black woman who edited my resume free of charge. And when I got stuck and I was only making less than 30K a year, it was a Black woman who said, get your ish together. We're going to work on this resume. We're going to get you out of below poverty. And when I was trying to get hired at my first gig or get a job or an opportunity, it was Danielle Leslie. It was Morgan Dubon who let me come and film at her summit that she used to host. It was Arlen Hamilton who inked a contract with me to say, "Hey, I see your work, Black man. I believe in you. How much?" And so, hey, like, virality and all that stuff is great. When you get big moments, embrace them, enjoy them, love them, cool, honor them, but just don't get too caught in them because it can pigeonhole you, and it can make you freeze up from ever creating or doing something again. Or if it doesn't go your way, you're now down and out about it. But I just looked at it as thank you for the confirmation. Now I need to go find more Black women CEOs, more Black women to honor, to push, to work for, to help, to build, whatever they got going on. How can I lean in? So,
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. I love that that's your mission and you stand on it and it's not just something you do once a month or once a year. Uh to virtual signal or like say we're supporting diverse. It's like since I've that's been what I've known you for from the jump. And I that's something I admire and respect about you to be able to stand on that.
hey man,
Um
look. If I'm not standing on supporting Black women, then I shouldn't be here
fair.
because I would not be anything of who I am. Of course, God is in the picture, but my mom would be next, and then
Yeah.
the slew of Black women who have only helped me win. And so this is like, if I could make a career and living off of just helping more and more Black women by the droves, especially with 600,000 Black women battling with unemployment and being laid off and all that stuff just within 2025 alone,
Right.
I would switch it all right now. Now I just use what I have and
Sure.
help and support and honor. But yeah, I mean, they've done so much for me. This only makes sense.
Speaking of Black women You hosted earlier this year / last year. You started working on what I would call a virtual summit,
Mhm.
and I think what's unique about this that I'd love to for you to share kind of like your framework, your thought process for building this out, because there are a few things that stuck out to me. One, like it was not something that I don't know if it was something that you've done before, but maybe I'm wrong there. But also the angle, right? It was like you didn't have all of the bells and whistles. You didn't have a big company behind you funding you, but you locked in on a mission and something that you're passionate about. And through that energy and finding the right people to get the support, you built something that actually, helped somebody out there, specifically a Black woman in a time of need. I don't know how much I can say, but tell
Yeah,
me about building that and like your thought process behind that as a virtual event, as a summit, however you would like label it.
yeah. So early in my, I'm gonna give you the intro before I give you the verse, right? For all those who don't know, I'm a rapper turned designer. So the intro is early in my career, because I was doing audio engineering, before I pivoted to design. Um, A2 and which or A1, which is like the lead audio guy, told me in my career a story about how there was these batch of cables that were on the ground at an event that he was working, and everyone walked over the cables. Everyone walked over the cables. No one was paying attention. People were doing all this stuff, but they just kept walking over the cables. He actually stopped and like, hey, like I need to fix this. So he fixed all the cables, straighten them up, have them running, perfectly how they should be, so that it wouldn't be a hassle. You wouldn't have to walk over it. Actually, just be perfectly covered. Like you're supposed to have them in strips and rows, and there's things that you can put them in and make sure that you're good. And so he taught me to never walk over messy cables, right? Because that's just what you don't do. And so fast forwarding, right? So you have your intro now to the verse of my career and my life is that I never walk over messy cables. So if I see a problem, if I see lack of communication in teams I'm working for, if I see just something going wrong and I know I can do something about it, I will. And that's just
Right.
my mantra now. So I have to make sure that I don't walk over messy cables at whatever, right? So that seeing first it was 300,000 and it was 600,000. I'm like, this is a bunch of messy cables. And I could complain and fuss and walk over it. Oh, that's so sad. And then walk over the cables. Or I can say, hold on, what can I do? So after yelling and arguing with God, it was a solo fight. The idea was to like, hey, I should do something, a conference, an idea, a concept. And I was like, I'll call it the Black Girl Relief Fund. And I remember Tim Ferriss, we'll say a buddy of ours, not in real life, but who knows? At one point,
Virtual mentor.
virtual mentor. Tim
Yeah.
Ferriss always says, "What would you do if it were easy?" Okay, I would get Black women free Ubers, and I would help them get career coaching, and I would get them resources, get them in front of like leaders and execs to hire them. Like, cool. All right, so like let's slim that down because you can't help 600,000. Can you help five? I guess I could help five. Okay, cool. Like, what if it were easy? What would you do? I'd get them on Zoom, get a couple of my friends who are leaders in their field, get them to speak.
Yeah.
Okay, well, how would you? What else? Like you want to get money, right? Yeah. So can you reach out to corporations? No, not really. Well, what can you do? GoFundMe, maybe? Okay, GoFundMe. Okay, well, you got a goal? How much you want to raise? I don't know. I'll just start off at like 1,000 or something. Okay, cool. Okay, well, how you gonna get them to the conference? Like, you got a website? And so all of this like thought process was happening, and per usual, Black women were there to help. So I called my homegirl Francita, called another homegirl Andrea, and told them about the event. And before I could even finish, I was like, "Sign me up. We can help. How we can support." We got your back. And then eventually I brought in another homegirl, Tiff, who was like, I'll help with moderating and doing stuff via conference day of. Cool. So boom. And it was like, all right. Francita was like, let me help out with the website. Andrea was like, let me help out with logistics. Tiff was like, I'll help just to get things in order, also logistics. Boom. Cool. Got the site up in a couple days, got the concept up and going, used the Google form because, hey, best resource. Maybe I did too much, but whatever. The Google form became like the sign up. You had to indicate you were impacted by layoffs. Started promoting December, fundraise, tagged people on LinkedIn who I saw was talking about the 600,000 to 300,000 Black women unemployed. So I made sure I was tagging them as
Mhm,
well.
mhm.
So now that there's something happening, hey, can y'all tag y'all friends? Can y'all do this? Can y'all help? So between Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and my email list, I did as much as I could, and that community helped to raise 3,100. So we raised
Wow.
over $3,000, and then a young lady named Tanaja Jordan was able to get the 3K. She actually had been out of work since 2024, unfortunately,
Wow.
and so to be able to give her 3K was amazing. And then shout out to our speakers, Chantel. Watch I freeze up trying to remember everybody on the spot. Teddy, Monica, and there's some other speakers, Lachey, and there's one more. Hold on, I'm not gonna forget this, and I will not leave this episode until I remember this last name. Lachey, Monica, Chantel, Teddy, and why am I forgetting? Oh, and Aisha. So thank y'all for just being a part of this amazing experience,
I thought
giving
you
to
weren't gonna remember them all.
no, I'm not. I can't do that. And thank y'all for pouring into these Black women, for
Yeah.
serving these Black women. And even a month after the conference, I'm still getting people messaging me saying, I got to meet with the some of the Black women who spoke. And thanks to Francita, she actually did she matched the dollar amount of the conference with in-kind donations. So she's been able to and has been meeting with small black owned businesses, Black women with small Black owned businesses, to help them in different ways, from support to guidance to who knows what else. She's also supporting them with their endeavors.
Sure.
um but ultimately too, like, this is a different way to network, right? Like, after someone who's attended all of these conferences over the years, what you learn about conferences is that whoever's a conference creator or planner, they probably end up getting this line of connections that they just never had, or they deepen the line of connections they already had. So
Right.
even with this event, it got me connections I had never thought I could be connected to, and helped me once again strengthen my connections with some people who I already knew and love, and now building new relationships with people who I'm like, you my big sis now, and like, how can we help, and how can I serve you, and checking in on people regularly. Um and we have our Slack group for the ladies as well. So I'm in there dropping, hey, I saw this job thing, apply. Hey, somebody gave me
Is
this
this is post event?
post event.
Okay, post
So
event.
someone sent me this RFP, drop in here. Hey, I saw this
Yeah.
opportunity for a free event in this city. If you're in there, like, just whatever I can, because
Yeah.
hey, like, the giving don't got to stop giving, and it don't
Right, right,
have
right.
to continue being monetarily either. And then for anyone who gets to this point in the actual pod with us, I am going to be doing this event annually as well. So this is the first time I'm ever
My
saying this
guy.
publicly. So I'm going to be doing this event annually.
Bravo.
I would be silly to not want to. Well, I wouldn't say silly, because I really talked to God about it, and I was like, man, I want to make sure that I'm not just doing something just to do it, right? Like, it has to be authentic. It has to have value behind it. It can't just be for show or for likes or for fame or for virality. Like, if I know those things are guiding it more than my own, like, moral principles, then shut it down. Like, I will close business, close shop, I'm not
Right.
even gonna do it if I know that's what I'm doing it for and I feel it. And we sometimes, a lot of times, we know exactly what we're doing things for. And if I know that my mission has been lost, then I gotta abort and I gotta stop and figure this out and recenter before I make another claim to fame or do something big again or whatever. So if it ever feels
Yeah.
fake and inauthentic, don't do it. But I will say I almost didn't do this, and thank you to Monica, one of the speakers, and all the Black women who I spoke with about this event. Who, when I said I don't know, I just don't want this to be performative, and I don't want to bother people, they're like, bump that, bother people if this is the time to be performative. I know that kind of negates a little bit of what I just said, but I understood what they meant, right? Like, hey, if you feel like this is performative, then be performative in this space because you're
I
gonna help so
mean,
many people post
look
event.
at all the corporations and companies that I mean,
Hey,
that's performative, right? It's like
yeah,
you
I understand.
support the nothing that you do about your mission is performative to me.
I understand.
And I love that you took action, right? I think any like organizers, people out there who want to do events, I think a lot of times they may say, I don't have the budget. Like, what about speakers? I can't pay them. Will they show up? Or like, so, and I don't have sponsors, right? Like, how am I
Mm.
gonna put this on? You're just like, oh, I'll just use Zoom. I'll reach out, leverage my network. We'll tie it
Well,
to something that's
so this is also a testament of if I've been doing what I tell so many others to do. And when I
sure,
put this out there, this was me saying, all right, God, I see this idea. Thank you so much. I put the first 200 in. One of my little brother put in, like, he was the first donator outside, just like first, not me. I count, but I don't count. So he was the first
sure.
person to be like, here you go, on top of things. But I think if this didn't go well, not that anything will be wrong with that, but it was me saying, if I've been pouring into my community like I say I have and like I tell other people to, this will show me in real time, right? Like, does my
Feedback.
community, not saying have my back because that's not fair, right? Algorithms control who sees what, but this just shows a little bit of like, oh, people want to help me because they see how much I've helped them
You
or
help
seen
them,
how
yeah.
much I've given to others, or they've seen my story over the 10 plus years, 15 plus years, and maybe they've never bought a shirt, or maybe they've never supported a book or never got into something, but I
Yeah,
see you, I got you, I'm gonna help, I'm gonna do what I can. And I think that says something. I don't need it to be too aligned because I don't want to then do something and no support and I guess you don't have a community. That's not what I'm saying.
sure.
But I think it just told me, hey man, your community is watching you. They see how much heart you have for it, and for them. And this was their way to wrap their arms around you and support you back. And so
Yeah,
I'm
love it.
forever indebted to all the people who donated, whether you knew me or not, and you saw the mission was great. And sometimes too, it's like, how great is that mission? Because maybe you didn't support me because it looked like I was only in it for self, right? Like,
Sure.
I think people can see that and smell that a mile away, and so it didn't feel like that.
Yeah.
And thank you to the speakers who I told them, hey, all I ask is no pitching because I didn't want to bring these ladies into a conference where you think you want a free thing and you're gonna get poured into, and then at the end it's like for 9.99, 99.99.
You wouldn't want me on your because I'd be bitching.
But I
And
think
we have an offer, ladies and yeah,
but I think it's different.
yeah,
You make things clear and people know what that is.
right,
Where sometimes people do the bait and switch. They make it seem like it's something else. And then they're like,
yeah,
"Oh, but actually, I'm really doing this, right?" So if you make it
sure,
clear, if I would have made it clear, "Hey, this is that, this is this is that," cool. You came
right.
at your own discretion. But I just wanted
But
to
it
make sure that I didn't, because I knew once again, it's understanding my audience too, right? Like I knew that this audience of women in the time
sure,
of layoffs and all this stuff,
yeah,
this is not the time,
right,
right, to host an event. Granted I can't pocket watch, but this wouldn't have been the time to say, "Hey,
for
by the
sure.
way, for 575, I know you experiencing layoffs and being sensitive and not read the room, right? So
Right.
I think it's reading the room. If I host an event on my own outside of this, yeah, if you get pissed or if I tell you to go buy something, that's different. But if I
Right.
say, hey, this community needs my support more than they need me trying to grift them or get something off of them, I once again, like, morals, principles, heart, faith, God, like, however you align, if you got to get your bag. But like, go to the corporations and ask them for the bag, right?
Right.
Like,
That
not
wasn't
to,
that wasn't the time or place to
right, exactly.
given the context. Um in your book, Never
Hey.
Network Again, which is it's phenomenal. Everybody should go get this. So I'll pitch. I'll pitch for you. One of the things that the many things that there's a lot in here that I love, but there's a plan that you have 36912, and you talk about basically how consistency beats charisma when you're not in the room. Can you talk about how you break that down or how you think about networking from this point of view? Yeah.
So after you network, um, there's that infamous, like, what do I do? Right. So I got
Right.
the contact, got the card, you had beautiful conversation. Y'all took the selfies, you posted it to the gram, posted it to LinkedIn. Yay, cool. But what happens is that everybody fails in the follow up stage, right? So the power is really in the follow up. So
Sure.
cool. When do I follow up? How should I follow up? Do I follow up now? Do I follow up later? And then you just end up not doing it, right? Could have been
Right.
an amazing contact for you. You just did nothing, right?
It can be
So
awkward.
yeah. So I said, hey, here's the formula: 369, like the Lil Jon song. Dang, she
Damn
fine.
good time.
Uh,
Let me
uh,
sing it second to me one more time. Get low,
hey,
get
hey,
low, get.
hey, hey. So, so it's 36912. And what I do is after I meet to connect and we shake hands and give each other's LinkedIn's, because if I get a business card, I literally will add them on LinkedIn and give them back their business card. um, and after that initial, maybe you send an email that day or that maybe that Monday. Cool. So cool. Maybe they respond, maybe they don't. But what I'll do, the three, follow up 3 months later.
Hmm.
Hey, checking in. How have you been since you've been back? If I remember something, oh yeah, your daughter, she was flying with you too. How's she been? How's school? Because you said she was starting school, right?
Sure.
3 months. 6 months later, reach back out. Hey, you remember we were talking and you told me to read Amusing Ourselves to Death. It was a really good book because we wanted to talk about the media and how it's consuming us and how we're just kind of getting drawn in. Okay, cool. I actually read the first 5 chapters. This is what I'm learning. Da 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 da. Cool. 6 months. Hit him back on the 9 months. Hey, just wanted to check in. Hope you're well. Hope all is moving and grooving. You don't even have to respond to this, but if you do, I would love to hear your insight on this because you told me you were passionate about, funnels and marketing and da da da. And, maybe you're a CMO at a big company. And I saw this commercial that would have your team just light up with joy if you all could produce a commercial like this. Or I saw your work you did, right? Maybe I'm
Right.
following you on LinkedIn, saw this amazing commercial you did, just wanted to touch base and just tell you personally, your team rocked it. Can't believe you all got to be able to work with Bad Bunny, like whatever that looks like, right? And then cool. And then 12 months, if the conversation is going back and forth, everything has been love. Y'all maybe hopped on a Zoom once or twice. Cool. Can we do another Zoom meeting? Or if we're in the same city, can we meet up for lunch, breakfast, whatever the case would be, coffee, whatever it is. So cool. I don't know what to do. To now, you have a 36912 formula that you can use. If you want to move a little bit faster, you can do 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 9 weeks, 12 weeks. Just
Okay.
depends on if you have an urgency or not on your
Right.
end, or if you're trying to, like, because maybe if you're trying to get a job or something, months might not be in your favor. So maybe
Close the
three,
deal.
yeah, 36912 weeks or days. Just once again, just depends on what you're trying to do and how quickly you're trying to get on that person's radar. So you can go from days to weeks to months. You can gauge that as you interact with the person, but now you have a formula to do so.
What This is actually really good. So, do you have like a CRM or like do you like what do you recommend? Do you have like a recommended tool or because in my mind I'm like I'm not gonna remember that. That's nuts.
I don't. I should. So if you're a funnel guy and girl, I ain't got no money for you, right? But if you want to barter for some knowledge and go back and forth, then let's talk. But in
Right, right.
general, I just have calendar reminders, and I've always done this. Like I have calendar reminders to check in with old friends, connect with a home. Like calendars are my funnel. And once again, I'm a grassroots guy. I'm a boots on the ground guy. I'm a do it with zero in your pocket guy.
You're very bootstrappy.
Yeah,
Bootstrap. You're a
champagne
bootstrapper.
chains, Kool-Aid money. What's easy? A calendar. Okay. You could even schedule text messages now if you have an iPhone, or if you don't, still you can still,
Yeah.
if you want to get methodic with it, have a whole sheet of responses that you built out in AI to rapidly text and send out to
Yeah.
professionals, contacts, whether it be email, text message, whatever your process is. But I use calendar just to kind of keep me on track. I mean, but
That
I'm
works.
always thinking of people because I lost my mom at an early age. So for me, I'm always thinking about like how is someone doing, or hey, I met this person at this event. Like I just wanted to check in with you. And if anybody knows me, if you're watching this right now, and I've checked in on you, be like I'm one of them he checked in on in the comments, because that's, once again, that's just me. And
Right.
so
It's not a marketing tactic.
yes,
It's part of your identity. It's part of who you are. It's part
yes.
of why I love you as a friend and
Hey man.
why our
Love you too,
relationship
bro. Little bro man. You know what I'm saying?
why our
Bro, let me show some
relationship
love. You feel me?
why our relationship has blossomed over the years because it's always from a place of hey man have like you're sending me stuff on the regular hey man do you see this you got to check this out hey like what's this podcast man they're doing what we talked about you remember we talked about to me that's like the 3 6 9 12 right maybe it's more
Mhm.
maybe it's like you're hitting me up like you're sending me like three things in a week but and I'm like damn why does he keep sending me all this stuff I haven't even looked at the
That's
other
funny.
stuff
That's
but
funny.
to me that's like it doesn't feel transactional. It feels like you're actually like we're friends, but like to me, what you described feels like a organic correspondence of like two
Yeah.
friends, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
like I'm a prospect and you're just like sliding into my DMs to hit me with like the next offer, right? It
Now,
feels like
now,
very organic.
now, here's the other side to that. Every one of your friends, our friends, my friends, like we are all each other's links to the next
Sure,
level, right? So if you got nothing out of this talk, please take your friends like more seriously, more valuably. Like I don't know what the word would be, but like actually checking on your friends, checking on people close to you, checking on old
yeah,
college buddies, checking on people who you had a networking or meeting event with many moons ago. It don't have to go nowhere. It don't have to mean anything. It doesn't have to turn
sure.
into $80 billion sales opportunity and MMRs, whatever you be talking about online. I don't know. You're the smart guy. Um,
MR monthly recurring revenue, yeah.
there you go. All that stuff, right? But
Yeah.
if you can just be tapped in with your circle, almost like a go local before you go global, but in a different texture of just like
Sure.
your friends, your surroundings, you're checking in. When
Right.
you ask for help, it doesn't feel nasty or weird because you're
Or you don't
just,
get ghosted.
yeah,
Yeah.
you've always checked in. If somebody says, "Hey, what you got going on?" and it's like, "Ah, man, I just need prayer." Well, I got you. Or, "Ah, man, I'm short $5 on the rent." I got you, because it doesn't feel like I'm trying to get something off you. If I say, "Oh man, I just released a new shirt," I'm not
Right.
telling you this because I'm about to sell you something. You're just asking what's new. You told me about your business. Well, how's
Sure.
that? And if I say I released a new shirt, oh my gosh, some people are now offended that I didn't say, here you go, or oh yeah, I dropped the book, or here, like, and look, man, I'm a stupid business owner. I'd be giving out free books and free teas and calling people up to tell them thank you for their order. And back in the day, I used to write letters to everybody.
Yeah,
I
you
just
used to write handwritten letters. That's
I
great.
can't
Yeah.
do as I can't do that, what I'm saying, to that level anymore. But
You know who does that? You know who does that? There's this guy Jesse Itzler.
okay,
He like trains with David Goggins. He
okay,
writes like every year. He'll sit down at the end of the year and write handwritten
oh that's dope.
cards and send them out to people.
Oh that's dope.
But this is like this reminds me of you. These are all things that like in the startup world they say like do things that don't scale. Like these are all things that don't scale. You probably, I mean, there's probably a version that you can outsource to AI, but then it like makes it impersonal, and then like
Mm,
maybe it doesn't work the same. Like anybody can do that doesn't take any money, bootstrap, which is the cloth I'm cut from. You don't need a VC. You don't need a boss, right? I
uh,
mean, you don't even need AI. I mean, you just need pen and paper, right? And so I love that your fundamentals have not only always been there since the jump, but just that they're applicable to like anybody who's listening to this can take this and apply it at any stage of their business, whether they
yeah,
are funded or whether they're, just even if they don't even have a business, right? Like you would go to conferences and you would volunteer. It's like you
yeah,
maybe they don't even have a business yet, but you can volunteer to go to the conference and meet all of the people
yeah.
that you want to network with and then launch your business. And guess what? You have a like a bunch of fans now. So I love that. There's two things before we wrap. The first thing I want to talk about is virtual coffee chats, and then we'll wrap it up with the one by one. So virtual coffee chats is, you say that this is your secret weapon. Why?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they're easier, right? I actually learned recently.
What is it though? Like, don't pretend people don't know and don't know how to execute on it. Yeah.
So basically, it's you scheduling a Zoom call, Teams call, Google Meets, whatever your platform of choice is, a FaceTime, a phone call, with
Sure.
a friend for 20, 30 minutes to an hour max, maybe.
Okay.
And so I try to at least do one a month minimum. But if I do one a month, that's 12 a year. There's probably 12 more people in my circle that I've actually just stayed in touch with that
Right.
most people do not.
Right.
Um, if you did 2 or 3 a month, you'd surpass probably most people, right? Just
Sure.
and the people you already have as connects, maybe people who you are like you're in the comment sections with, y'all are always liking, engaging with each other. Hey man, you're seemingly dope and you're dope too. Like, can we hop on a call? Can we connect?
Is
Like,
this your like your outbound message? So you've already started. This isn't like you going cold and saying, "Hey, what's the one I get on LinkedIn all the time? Hey, I saw that your company is really cool and I just wanted to stay in connected to you," or something like robotic like that, right?
yeah,
That's not what you're
that
saying.
that can be kind of like, yeah, right? Like
And by the way, I've never seen or heard from you ever, seen you like any I've never seen you.
nothing, nothing.
Yeah.
And because we all know that um connecting with people in the comments section actually brings more value, to
Right.
the occasion, then this becomes a benefit to you as well, right? As you're navigating the LinkedIn streets, so that's what you're playing on. You're
Right.
talking, you're connecting, you're dropping good insight, you're da da da, you're adding friends. Then, like, I had an amazing call. I hope Kim is watching this. I'll tag her as well. I had an amazing call with a really brilliant woman named Kim, and she was attentive and listening, and she was just so smart, just so quick witted, just dope human. Period. Just great personality all around. And after we spoke, we met in the comment section. We got on a call together. Um, just had a great time just talking about our industries and marketing and why we
Sure.
connected in the first place. And afterwards she wrote me a recommendation on LinkedIn. Like, and I had never had that happen before. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's pretty
I've been
cool.
on LinkedIn a long time.
That's
Somebody
your first
connect with me.
recommendation.
Well, not the first, but it was the first
Yeah.
via, just a virtual coffee chat,
Right.
and it was sincere. At least it read as sincere.
Sure. She
And
probably
just
didn't do
from
it with AI.
yeah, she seemed like she took her time, wrote that out, and tagged me. You know how he kind of gives you a notification, and I was floored. I was like, "Oh, you didn't have to do this," but it made me say the next time I had a Zoom call or whatever with someone, I wrote them one, right? And it's
Right.
like, this is the stuff, right? This is why I want to talk with more people, connect with more people, learn from others, because
Yeah.
that's in this digital space. That is valuable, right? Like,
Right.
and not just do. If you didn't feel it, don't do it, right? If it was a weird call, you didn't get nothing from it. This person was gross, gave you the ick. That's not a recommendation to write. But if it was
Sure.
warm, if it was genuine, if you know you would reconnect with this person, if you know, man, like this 30 minutes or hour didn't even feel like it, cool. Like that's the next space, right? Or maybe it's I've had talks with people and then wrote a LinkedIn post that they inspired, and then and if it wasn't for this person, I wouldn't have wrote it, right? Like and gave them the props back, right? Like this is what community and networking and all this stuff is supposed to be like. It should feel like love
Sure.
all the time. If you're listening right now, drop.
Yeah.
This is the millennial heart. So I get it. I'm old, but this is drop some hearts in the chat or in the comments, because this is what it should be like. Now, once again, somebody doesn't mind helping you. Hey, I saw you needed work. Hey, I I wondered if you'd be open to this contract. Hey, you just told me to reach out to you because you said if I need a prayer, hit me up. Or hey, I saw you knew this person. Can
Yeah.
you intro us? Absolutely, because we're just doing community and doing life. And this
Right.
is how it should be all the time. It should, weird people go to therapy. Everyone else, let's do this the right way so it's not a struggle and weird. Or maybe you could be in another job opportunity in an exec role, whatever that is, but you're just not using your community to its fullest. And I get it, people have let you down, people have broken promises, people have robbed you, people have stolen ideas. I ain't saying none of that won't happen. It's happened to me, but I don't let that take me away from being who I was divinely designed to be, and take that blessing or just energy or message or strength that I could be in connection with another. So not very I don't know if this isn't the scalable stuff, right? This isn't the juicy part. This is, hey, be a good human and like things will turn out for you, but be intentional. Still, there's some strategy here. I might have been doing it just because, but there is some strategy and some thought behind it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, be intentional, be a good human. There's some strategy in there. Sure, absolutely. But if your overall goal is a good one, doesn't matter what the intention is.
Yeah.
I always say you can use me. Use me all you want. Just don't misuse me, because that's where the problem is.
Ooh, you can use me to, but don't misuse me. All right,
Yeah.
I have one example of this, and then we want to get in. I want to get in one by one by one. So I have a perfect case study for this. So there's this woman. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but I think it's uh Chinyeri
Okay.
Oprah reached out to me today,
Okay.
and she sends me this message. It says, "Hi Vernon, love your work and recently featured your ADHD book as a Black History Month book of my neurospicy.com newsletter.
Oh my
Would love
gosh,
to
that's cool.
connect. Would love to connect and invite you to write a guest blog." Right?
So
So how cool is that? I've never seen this woman a day in my life, don't know her. We've never met. That was her first message to me
that's amazing.
ever,
That's
right?
amazing.
And you know what I did? You probably know what I did. What would you guess that I did?
You message her back and said, "How? What else can I do? Or can I do a video?
Yeah.
Can I do more?" I don't know. You just probably would have messaged and reached out to do more.
I sent her love back. I said, "Thank you so much. I'm honored, and yes, I'd love to do that." And shared it. with my network, right? Like
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's not hard. It's not hard. It takes a little bit of work, but it's not freaking hard, people. Do that.
yeah,
Okay, so the one by one by one. So are you're probably not familiar. Well, you're probably familiar with this concept. So of the lightning round, right? It's
yeah.
like this is you don't get to think about it too much. Don't overthink about it. So
Yes.
the one by one is one room that's had an impact on your life, either professionally or personally. It doesn't have to be the room. It can be a room. Number two is a book or quote, right? And number three is the final thought takeaway for the episode today.
The one room, definitely that build your own brand conference. One that room changed my whole entire life. So, um, shout out to Drew. That's the creator of it. Although he's pivoted and he's doing amazing work in the event space. I believe he just announced a little one. If that is accurate, congrats again. If it isn't, congrats to your future that I just predicted. But Drew is amazing. HBCU grad, just phenomenal guy. Always giving back, always helping others. So Drew, if you're watching this, keep being the dynamic human you are. Your conference literally pivoted my career, shaped my like belief and perception of myself, and it put me
Sure.
around Black leaders and creatives that I loved and admired. Um, Courtney Saunders and Danielle Leslie and all these other just really amazing professionals.
Yeah.
And they were some of the people that hired me as well. So I got to work for people that were my dream to work for, even if it was for a small contract. So thank you, because I've been literally using all that knowledge and essence that I gained at that event through the rest of my career. The book, um, Seth Godin's Linchpin, literally changed my life. One of the questions they asked in the book was, if you died today and people only could Google you to find out the kind of life you lived, what would
I remember
they
this.
find once they Googled you? And at the time when I read the book and I Googled myself, there was nothing. So that's what made
Crickets.
me, yeah,
Cricket.
that's what made me start blogging and writing. And when people said putting out a book, you would need to get like Penguin and Clearinghouse and all these people, I said, nah, I'm going to find out how to publish it myself. And, I've gone a self-publishing route. So that book and that quote, still game changer to this day. And then final thoughts. I mean, the through line, I think, throughout this whole thing is support Black women. You're
Basically.
only, look, company. If you are struggling, hire a Black woman. If you are, we can't figure out how to make our marketing better. We can't figure out how to, the finances, the fundraising. Black women are the answer. Black women are the way to go. I don't care what type of brand. Black women sense things before the problems ever arise for you visibly. They already know. Hire them, support them, promote them, give
Pay
them the
them.
resources they need, everything. So if you ain't getting nothing from this, there are tons of Black women who need you to contract them to do something, support something, get them
Yeah.
what they worth, and then some, and everybody wins. That's it.
Tap in. And not just once a year. Or
Not
on
just and
a
not just
and
during
not
Black
just
History
once
Month,
and not just during Black History Month.
not just during Women's
Yeah.
History Month, but all year long. I promise you, if your company is struggling right now, there is a Black woman with the keenest of insights, from marketing to branding to systems to funnels to finances to your chief people and talent officer. There is something that they can grasp onto that would leapfrog your company to the moon, but you gotta give them space to do the work, and you can't be micromanaging, holding their hand over their shoulder, being and they need the money to help float whatever you're trying to do. You're giving them support, you give them the money, and you'll get a Super Bowl ring every year, guaranteed.
Salute. If everybody want to check out where you're at, where should they find you, Nemo? Where you want to send them?
I be on LinkedIn these days, so Alex Nemo Hanse on
He's heavy
LinkedIn. You
on
can always
LinkedIn.
go to thefoolies.com, see Black history through me, to all these other cool moments there where you can buy something. If you do buy something, um, we'll come up with a.
You'll write them a handwritten letter.
Hold on now. Hold on.
They'll
I
sign you
will
up for
send them.
that.
I will happily send them a voice note if they buy something. Um, if they use
Can you send? Okay. Let's do something special. Okay.
okay.
So if that's an individual, you do that. If it's a company, say it's a company, and they want to buy, like let's say they want to do a speaking package, or let's say they want to buy like 1,000 books or whatever.
Uh,
If they can, we do a book package. Would you fly out and speak if we did a book package, or am I
yeah,
signing you up for it?
that would be phenomenal. If
Okay.
I can help your company understand the value of people within the org, the creativity that's sitting in your org that's untapped, and just how to be more human in this era where everybody wants to be formulaic and they think that's working and it's not, then yeah, I mean we could do a book package in the whole nine. Yeah. Reach out. That would be phenomenal.
What do you? We got a price on that? We just have to reach out to get a quote. We get a special quote.
Let's reach out. Let's
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 reach
let's
out.
talk,
All right.
right? Because your needs may change, things may adapt or grow from there, and I want to be able to cater to that.
Love it.
In person, virtual, it doesn't matter. But thefoolies.com, if they use the hashtag, or not a hashtag, but use the code Foolies approved at checkout, something nice might happen for them. So will, not might, will happen for them. So there's that.
I'm just looking forward to all the handwritten notes that you're gonna.
Hey, if 100 sales come in, I will write 100 handwritten notes. It'll
I'm
take
not
me
signing
some
you up for
time.
that. They'll get
I'm just,
voice notes though.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If it happens, I'll do it. So I'll take it.